Show today. The topic is Haiti. And of course, what we'd like to do is to make some kind of statement in reference to some of the problems that are currently faced by those individuals and some of the solutions that are faced. And of course, Dr. LMadu, let's give you an opportunity to sort of talk about Haiti before the earthquake and to look at some of the situations in the second segment about Haiti after the earthquake.
Mm-hmm. Well, the economic and political problems, in Haiti are well known, since 1804 when it became independent. It has never changed. The same political, crisis after another has bedeviled the country. Every time you turn around, people say, well, this nation became independent in 1804. It's the second oldest republic in the Western Hemisphere. It was the oldest black republic, in the world. The only country in the world that was built by slaves who overthrew their masters. And one would assume that a country that old, over 200 years, would have been in a strong economic condition now. But whenever you look around, Haiti is deteriorating instead of, moving up. And people ask, why? What is happening here? What is different, with Haiti? And next door, Dominican Republic, has a better economic prospect.
Same island, share the same island.
Exactly, same island. What is the problem? Well, when the slaves threw out the French were not happy. They lost a whole lot of, their economic stranglehold on Haiti. Their coffee plantations and you name it. And so they weren't happy at all. So in order to get back, as a way of punishing, the country for rebelling, in 1825, they forced down an agreement down the throat of the Haitian government. They forced them to sign an agreement whereby the Haitian government will be paying 150 million gold francs to France every year.
150 million gold francs to France every year.
Every year. And eventually they cut it down to 90 million francs every year. And the Haitian government continued to pay this indemnity until 1947.
So from the time of the revolution up until 1947, at least 100 million gold.
150 million gold francs every year for 122 years. And how did they pay this? They didn't have any money. They had to borrow money from the German, the British, and French banks.
To pay the French loan.
To be paying this indemnity. So while they are paying this indemnity, what is happening? They are owing these banks at the same time, and the banks are collecting the money too. So eventually the government didn't have any money for economic development, at all. So this immensely affected the economic condition of the people. The United States refused to recognize Haiti and have any business dealings with it at all, because it did not want to encourage the slaves in the United States to copy what happened in Haiti. And the French did not recognize Haiti either. So other European nations followed suit. So what you have is, an embattled and besieged little country, unable to take care of its people because all its money is being used, to pay this indemnity to France. Okay. So this has been the situation. This has been the problem. And that's why the country is so, poor and wretched, because it didn't have any money to really build any infrastructure, any of these things. And then, of course, you've had presidents, who are nothing but stooges of the French. So whichever president comes in has to answer and speak, to the French authorities, thereby neglecting his people. Now, when President Aristide came to power, and I discussed this with him, when he came here in Nashville. In 1991, when he came in, he started making some noises about some of these injustices of the French, you know, and also of the Haitians being paid, you know, less than minimum wage. When he came to power, Haitians working for American firms, some of them were paid $1 a day, while the Americans who work for those some companies are paid $10 to $12 an hour. So he said, no, we have to change all this, you know. But the business, you know, interests, i.e. from the United States and France, saw this as a threat. You know, that's why they overthrew his government. Now, when he got back in 2004, you know, when Clinton, in 1994, when Clinton put him back in power, he didn't say much about it. But later, in 2003, he handed a bill over to the French for $12.7 billion, you know, to be paid back to Haitians. That's a calculation in 2009 dollars of what Haiti has paid to France as indemnity, $12.7 billion. Yeah. So the French say, hell no, we won't do this. Yeah, you know, we don't owe Haiti any money. And of course, the French government got mad, and that's part of why they started conspiring, you know, to overthrow Aristide. And that's why they really threw him out. In fact, a few days before he was overthrown, there was chaos everywhere. You know, they asked the French to contribute troops to end it. They said no, because they wanted to use it to get rid of him. As soon as he was overthrown, you know, 3 days later, you know, the French contingent of the multinational forces arrived. And what happened when he was overthrown? What happened? They took him and flew him to Bangui, Central African Republic, where he doesn't even know, and kept him isolated from everybody else. Didn't want him to come back, you know, even to Jamaica. Jamaica wanted to offer him asylum, but they didn't want him to
come back into that area
at all, to start speaking again, because he was always saying the correct things about their condition, and they didn't want to hear that. So when Mr. LMadu2, who was imposed after he was overthrown, came in, he said, okay, the French should forget about that reparation. We don't need the money. Aristide made a mistake for demanding it. So this is a kind of a background to leading to the earthquake and its consequences.
Okay, and of course, Dr. LMadu, let's take this first commercial break here dealing with Haiti, and after which we'll come back and we'll deal with that pre-earthquake kind of situation, because it seems it's a devastating situation now. Of course, we'll be back with our audience following this very, very short commercial break.